morning.
Morning everyone.
Welcome back to the finca.
So the Spanish boiling.
It is very hot today. We're not complaining, definitely not complaining. No. But yeah, so
I've just been strimming. I've got bits in the hair and everything. I should put a hat on.
Well, so we're kind of limited again to what we can do outdoors after about midday because it's unbearable.
Yes, and hopefully the guys are coming to do the courtyard.
Yeah, we're still cracking on with the courtyard, but we're waiting for the guys to come to do the floor before we can.
And it's getting hotter and hotter, so it's not looking so great.
No.
So what we're going to do today, I think I'm going to make a shutter for this window because as you can see it gets the sun in the morning and it'd be nice to have it shut to keep the sun out, and then we can always open the window at night with the shutter shut for security to let the cool air in the evenings come through overnight. That'll be a good one.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm going to make it from scratch, the whole thing. I'm even going to make the hinges, the locking mechanism, the lot. So yeah, that should be good fun.
I'm just on garden duty. I've got still a lot of mess in the garden. It's all been neglected with the bad weather that we've had. The oleander tree in the courtyard is taking over yet again.
Crikey, it's beautiful, but it doesn't half grow.
It's a twice yearly event that I have to chop that back. So that's what I'm on today.
I'm sure we'll find lots of other things to do.
We always do.
Let's crack on then. Right, so I've got one board left. Which should be enough to do this, I'm hoping. I think so. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to measure, cut them all to the height that I want, and then I need to rip them down for the width. But the first job is to get the height cut. So I'm going to measure this, see what we need, and then cut my board into slices that long. I'm really scratching about for wood at the minute. I've got this old piece and a full length, which is just enough to make the main shutter out of, but for the ledges to hold it all together I'm probably going to have to improvise. I've got some pine board that's thick as well that I can probably rip down to do that. So I think in the first case I'm going to get these cut to the length that I need for my height, which is 610 millimeters, which is a whisker over 2 foot.
So this is the oleander tree. It is beautiful and it seems such a shame it's just coming into bud here to have to chop this back, but I do it twice a year and it keeps growing, and as you can see there's very little space to walk around. It takes over the courtyard. So yeah, bite the bullet and do it, I'm afraid. I'll crack on.
Right, so there we go. The one on the end is ever such a slightly different shade, if you can make that out on there. It doesn't matter, it'll all go the same. And I've got a knot in this end here that's fallen out, but if I work out the wood right, with my width, which I think wants to be 480, I can cut pretty much exactly down the edge of that knot, because I've got to take the tongue off this side anyway. This one's already got the groove off it because it's from a previous job, a bit of off cut. So the next thing I need to do is to rip this down to size. I'm going to double check the measurements actually. I think 480 might be a bit big. Sometimes it's difficult to measure it with the stones jutting in and out, and if they're not perfectly straight. But if I cut it a little bit possibly big, I can always trim a bit more off it, whereas I can't stick it back on if I cut it too small. So I'll go and check that again, and we'll get this ripped down, and then we're ready to start putting it together. I'll find some ledges first. Actually the offcut off that one might well do my ledges if I cut this in half, but we'll look at that in a minute. Right, okay, so there it is. It's not fixed together yet, but I'm just going to try it in place to make sure that it is alright. Right, so it fits the tree. I'm going to use this for the ledges. It's what I used to build the kitchen cabinet out of upstairs. bit dusty, but it'll clean off. It's actually solid pine blocks that are glued together to make a board, like a furniture board. So I can get my ledges out of this nicely, and it's only 2mm thinner than the actual wood I'm using for the shutters, so that'll be easy, won't it? So next thing I'll get that done, and then we can get it stuck together. So there we go, that's them. All I've got to do now is cut them to length. I don't really want to buy any more timber at the minute because it's so expensive, and not having it makes you use up bits that you have got anyway, so it's never a bad thing. Right, I'll get these cut to length and then we can look at gluing them together, sticking them together. Right, I had a case of their cut. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to nail it and glue it. I'm going to do it to the first board first, and then I'm going to flip it over because I want to glue down the tongs to make it super rigid and draft proof. Not that that matters that much because it'll have a gap all around the side, but just to make it solid. So the first thing we do, I've positioned these, I've worked them out already, so I don't want to move them. I'm just going to bob a bit of glue on there, like so, rolling back down as it moves. It always does, it's so slippery when the glue's under it, so I'll just check it again. That's it. Hold them over here, bang some nails in it. Right, same on this one. Then we've got this, which is square because it's got 4 nails in it. I'm just going to flip it over, square him up to my bench again because my bench is 100% square, and then take my next board, get them the right way around. So I'm just going to put a bead of glue down on the tongue, and then a dab of glue on here, and nail that together. So let's go. Okay. Drop him down, slot him in. It says, make sure they're flush, it's not moving. Hit it with a tapper. That's it. And nail them in. Right, I'll do the other side and carry on, get the rest of them in. So then, there's our little baby mini shutter. We need to turn it over and clean the glue off the back. Damp cloth is the way to go with that. So we'll get it cleaned off, and then I'm just going to let it sit then until the morning to make sure it's all solid and rigid and everything and not moving.
And there it was gone. A bit of a shame, but at least we can get round here now easily. Filled 3 buckets and I've got half here, so 3.5 buckets. Can't give it to donkey and goatee. Of course, oleander is poisonous to animals, or the sap is poisonous to them. Funnily enough, the cats don't bother climbing this tree, so they kind of must know, mustn't they, what's good for them and what's not. Yeah, so I'll get rid of this and then it's lunchtime.
Right, so we're having a brief interlude. Donkey and Goat have run out of straw. The place where we normally buy it from hasn't got any. They've run out as well. They can't get any. They're not till. It's
really strange. They didn't have any last week either, did they?
No, it's all this. It's all everything's a problem everywhere. Costs and deliveries and things.
Yeah.
But we normally like to buy the smaller bales because they're much easier to handle, obviously. But we're going to go and see Jose Manuel, just at the back here, our neighbour, who has huge bales, and see if we can get one in the trailer, which is always a bit of a struggle, and pick up a couple of sacks of carrots while we're there.
Because they've not had any for a while. They've been surviving on weeds, which they're enjoying, but it'd be a nice treat for them to have a carrot.
Absolutely.
So, let's go.
Let's go. We'll take you with us. Okay, so that was a bit unsuccessful. He's not here. He quite often isn't. We're a bit short on carrots. We've only got 3/4 of a sack, but it'll last them a few days. We're going to have to come back later, see if we can catch him in a bit. So we'll get back and carry on. Right, so it's not going well today at all. I'm going to carry on and make the hinges first. In fact, I'm going to cut up all the bits first and weld them all together after. Well, the hinges, on my doors here, by the way, it's all dry and lovely. I've got a result on that. It's only a little one. So I'm going to use that on the front of the door to carry the door part of it. I'm just going to cut this in half, and that'll make the two pieces. On the end of this, I'm going to weld a piece of tube like that. Then for the wall bit, I'm going to use rebar resin into the wall, and on the end of that I'll be welding a piece of bar. The bar fits inside the tube like that, and that'll allow it to turn. So get all the bits cut up first. Right, so you can see these all right. So that's my flat bar that's going to screw to the front of the door. With my tube, just going to weld onto the end of that to make that side of the hinge. Then this rebar, that's going to be resin into the wall with that sticking out and up for them to sit on. That will drop onto there, same with that one. This piece here will be screwed to the inside of the door with these two bits welded to it. And the reason for that is that this bit will then screw to the wall, so when we come to lock it, we just drop. I'm probably going to put them in that way actually, but they won't stay there very well. There we go. We can just drop a bar in across here, which will, this is fixed to the door, this is fixed to the wall, I'll lock it shut. Easy as that. Right, so the first thing I need to do is to clean off all these scaggy ends on them from the cutting, ready to get them welded. Right, okay, so everything's cleaned up, user friendly, no sharp edges to cut anyone or anything. I've got them all held in place with magnets, apart from them two, because I've run out of little magnets. I don't really want to use the massive ones for them. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a couple of tacks on them, tack them on each face, like I said the other day, tack these each side, and then take the magnets off and then weld them along. Same with these, just put a little tack on them, remove the magnets, and weld them properly, and then get these done. So let's break out the welder. I managed to not weld them to the bench, which is always a result. These are going to be a little bit more challenging because I'm welding thick metal onto thin metal. So it's a different technique if you are starting out in welding. You want to focus more of your heat onto the thick one and let it wash onto the thinner one, otherwise you'll just burn holes in it. I'll probably have to drill them through anyway after, but we'll see what we can do with it. Right, it's not come out too badly. I managed not to blow a hole through it at all, so the other one should fit in very nicely. Oh yes, there we go. So we got a hinge, fantastic. Right, next thing I need to do is get them painted. We'll start again. The next thing to do is to drill some holes in them. I want 2 in each of these so I can screw them to my door, and I want 2 in this so I can screw that to the door, and I want 1 in this so I can screw that to the wall. So that's the next job. Alright. Again, what I usually do with these, just get them started, and then just drop a little bit of cutting fluid on it if I can find it. Here it is. Helps to keep your bits sharp and etc. Kind of on everything. Okay. You know you've got a sharp bit when things like this come out of it. Got loads of them, spirally bits. Right, I'll get all these holes cut. Now all that remains is to paint them. I'm just going to clean them off with a bit of either acetone or brake cleaner because I've got all that cutting oil and stuff on them. But then we'll get them in the paint shop. Right, okay, so they're all clean, they're all painted. We'll let them dry, flip them over, paint the other sides. Hopefully we'll get that done today, then we can get the thing swinging and fitted in the morning. Fantastic. Right, now we need to go see back on the straw mission if we get some more straw for them. Right, it's Saturday morning, much better start to the day. We've got a big bale of straw, and he'd replenished the carrot mountain. So we've got some more carrots for him as well, so we've got a very happy donkey and goat. So yeah, we're very happy result on that. Okay, so what we're on now, first we're gonna oil the shutter. Sharon's gonna oil it. Yes, happy boy, aren't you? Sharon's gonna oil it, and I need to do the what are you doing? Chasing each other around. We like to play. What was that? Sorry. I'm gonna get the metalwork the other side of that painted up, and then we can hopefully get it in place. So let's crack on.
And we're off with the oiling. The shutter on today, all being well. Don't know whether Andy's mentioned, but we've been let down by the guys that are supposed to be coming to do the patio for us, the stone patio in the courtyard. So we've decided we're going to do it ourselves. It's going to be a long, slow process, I think. But we've got some good friends that are going to come over and help us to lift those really heavy stones. So that'll be coming up in the future. In the meantime, lots more odd jobs to be getting on with. So I'll crack on, get this done, and then Andy can put the hinges on and get it fitted.
Right, okay. Everything's dry. I've brought it out, it's bright. I've just got it wedged in place, roughly where I want it. So now I can decide where I'm going to position the hinges. So I'll go and get them and see if I can work it out. So here we go. They obviously want to run on the bars. Probably about there. Winds come from nowhere. Again. It's not easy doing this, I need more hands. So he goes on there, and he'll need to go into the wall. So I reckon And there. I'll have them in that joint there at an angle. Now my pen's falling on the floor. Get my finger on it. X marks the spot. The same on this one. In fact, I think he'll go into that joint there. So I'll get me level and I'll level it down so my hinges are in line. I have to go and find it though. Here we go. So he's there. He's there. X marks the spot. Right, we'll get them drilled out. Just figure out the angle. I reckon that'll be perfect. Right, give him a good blowout. That didn't go as planned. This stone was just a facing stone I stuck on, and the force of the drill knocked it off. But not to worry, we'll stick it back on after. We've still got a good hole we can fix too. Get it all cleaned out. All we do now is screw the resin in the hole and push it in, as you've seen before.
Whilst Andy's fitting the shutter, I've just popped into town to get this from a donkey. The flies are driving him mad. They're all round his eyes, bless him. So I did put some repellent on him yesterday, but obviously can't spray it near his eyes. So we'll go and fit it and see what it looks like.
Right, so they're in eventually, and they work. They'll fall right back. Yeah, same with this one. It looks wonky because it's not fixed yet. But yeah, happy with that. That one's the same. I've checked them both level that way, they're both level that way as well. So we'll just let that go off, have a spot of lunch, and then we'll get it finished off. Oh. Didn't want that to happen. I'll take these out now. Just wedge him back at this side so I can get him in the right place. Dear me. Oh, why did that have to happen? We'll get him now. Alrighty, right, I'll bang the last one in. So there we go. It works, it opens and closes. All they've got to do now is put the latch mechanism on, fix it to the wall, and we'll be good. It'll work. Right, hopefully this will go a bit better. This goes on the door here, and then the hook, the other bit will go on the wall, and then we drop a bar across. I'll show you in a minute. And let's see if we can get him in first. You can have a bit more joy with it. There we go. We'll just start him off. sure he's level. Make sure he's level. Excellent. Right, wonderful. Now just this bit. I'll go and get it. Right, so we've just closed it, marked where we want our cats to go. We're just going to fix it on with a big screw and a roll plug. So I've got it in my pocket. There it is. So I'm just going to drill in to here. Ready. So there it is from the inside. Basically, I've got to make a bar yet. I'll just rip one down with the saw, but it'll just sit in there and that locks it shut. If I want to make it a bit more secure, so it can't be flicked off from the outside, I'll just drill a hole in there and we'll just have a peg we can push through so it can't just be lifted up. So that should do it. So I think I'm just going to rip a piece of wood down now that'll fit in there properly, because this is a bit makeshift, and we'll be done. There we go, one window complete with shutter. Happy days, another good job well done.
And there we have it, it's working. Oh, he just had so many flies round his eyes, so that's better, isn't it, baby? Goaty's a bit inquisitive, he's been having a chew, so hopefully it'll still be there in the morning. Goaty's not chewed it off him. But yeah, I think that'll work a treat. Looks very smart boy.
Right, well that's us for today again. Time for a beer. Hopefully that'll help Donkey out, I think.
Yes, hope so.
We wanted to get one, we didn't need his bridle.
Yeah, we thought it kind of went round his ears, but when I tried it this afternoon, there was no way it was fitting round his ears, so then we realised he needed to wear his bridle, which he's not used to. So I hope he'll be alright, but I think he's just...
if not, we'll get him another one.
Yeah, I think he's just happy that he's not got those horrible flies all round his eyes.
So the shutter's done. Yep, that's good. It means we can open the window at night and not have cats, dogs, wolves, snakes, wild boar coming into the house.
Yes.
And keep them all out.
Yeah.
It just lets a bit of breeze through because it cools off a lot in the evening. And as Sharon said earlier, we've been let down badly on the courtyard by the guys coming to help us out. Donkey's singing. Is it that time already? He's singing for his dinner. So we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to bite the bullet and get it done. We've got a couple of friends who offered to come and help. So we're going to try and get it all prepared, ready.
Yeah.
And then get them in on a day just to bring the biggest stones in.
Yeah.
Then we can carry on with it. Probably won't be the next video, although it might be. We don't know yet. It might be a part of it.
Depends how we get on.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Welcome to all the new subscribers.
Yes, thank you guys.
Absolutely overwhelmed. This is fly, leave me alone. Just one persistent one.
It's on me now.
And we'll see you on
Thursday.